Welcome to Monday Meditation. Today we're going to focus a little bit on the senses again, using a body scan to just check in with ourselves. And the basis for this is not only does it help us know what's going on in different parts of our body, it also, at least with my intention, is going to be the basis for how we determine how connected we are to our own physical space, our own physical presence, and whether or not we need a little bit of support being able to reconnect to ourselves. Why is this important, you may ask? Well, our modern world causes us to not be as present or engaged in our body. A lot of us work from the neck up. When I do art with people, especially body scans, a lot of times the focus isn't on the head, which tells us a lot about where our connection to ourselves is, where our intention is. It's not bad to be connected to the head and the brain and the thoughts and all that goes in this upper part. The problem is when we don't generalize it a little bit more and connect into the different aspects of ourselves. We are disconnected literally from our body, which means we're disconnected from our inner wisdom, the wisdom that our body brings. And in particular, we receive messages from our body that sometimes, because we're so disconnected from ourselves, our physical selves, and we don't spend a lot of time there, we don't know what these signs, these symptoms, these messages are saying to us. So that's part of the bigger picture that I want to get into. But for today, we're going to start with a really basic body scan. So I invite you to sit, lay down, or stand in a way that's going to be comfortable for the next few minutes, 10 minutes or so. And just take a moment, however you're postured or sitting or standing, take a moment to click into the connection you feel and the support you're receiving. So if you're sitting, you might notice the chair underneath you. You might notice your feet on the floor. If you're standing, you might be aware of the space under your feet, or maybe you're holding on to something just to balance yourself a little bit. Let your awareness drift to those places where you're feeling support and connection. Leaning into this idea that you are in at least a space this morning where you are being held, you are being held up, you are being supported. So I invite you to drop your attention down into your feet, maybe your feet and ankles. Really get a sense of the connection there. Maybe wiggle your toes, bring sensation to the feet so that your attention is more easily grasped by that. And simply let it be as it is. Today, we're just observers. There's nothing that needs to change. So notice what happens when you wiggle your toes. Notice what happens when you just bring attention to this area. For some of us, we might have quite a few sensations going on. Sensations that maybe we don't even notice during the day. Just let your awareness drift down into that space and to what's happening without judgment. And bringing our attention up a little further, maybe into the lower legs, into the knees. We're going to apply the same practice here, observing and being with what you're noticing. You might feel clothing over your calves, or sometimes achiness in the knees. Or sometimes you won't feel anything at all, which is just as normal as any of the other sensations. Again, as an observer, the idea is to just simply be here with what is. And as you breathe your breath and connect yourself to this part of your body, this lower part of your legs, just let yourself feel that connection. Notice the connection. Some of you may be noting colors or textures. Sometimes, even in these lower parts of our body, we might have something like a sound that goes with the sensation or a taste, even. Let yourself be open to anything that shows up. Now, bringing your attention up a little further into the thighs and into the hips, the sockets where our hips and our pelvic carriage connect to one another. Noticing what's there, being with what's there. Pay attention to whether or not you're really leaning into the sensations there, or if you're remembering the story of what you think is there. And if it's the story playing out in this attention moment, maybe move your thighs a little bit and try to get a sense of what is here in the present. With the body scan, we're trying to bring our attention through our body and through our senses into this moment. So, what we think we know is okay, and we're trying to get into what is really there. So, again, noticing movement of sensation, colors, any of those things are relevant. And shifting now into the pelvic carriage and the lower torso. Again, bringing your witness self to this area. Feeling from the inside out what is here. This brings different sensations than the legs, for instance. We might be able to hear or pay attention to or be aware of movement in our bellies and our intestines, sensations of movement, sounds of movement. As an awareness, not bringing judgment. As an observer, not bringing judgment, just bringing awareness. Awareness to what's here and acceptance of what's here. So bringing your attention up into the upper chest, down through the arms and the fingers. Tapping into your internal wisdom at this moment. What's here? What sensations exist? You may be able to easily tap into the movement of your breath, the expanding of your chest, the exhale, and what that does. Again, just letting yourself be present, feeling from the inside out this internal process, the presence that you have, and the attention and awareness you can bring to what's going on right now. And shifting your attention up, maybe including the top of the shoulders, the neck, and the head, including the face. Leaning into what's here. And if your mind is starting to wander, that's very normal. We have the gift in every meditation to bring ourselves back to the present moment, to bring ourselves back to the body or the breath. That is the process of meditation. So if you're wandering, that's okay. Allow yourself to start again and know that that is perfect in the process. So again, sensing what's present, feeling from the inside out, feeling the muscles, or if there are textures that relate to tension or difficulty. Our neck and our head work very hard during the day. And sometimes it continues to hold the remnants of past days. Staying in the observing space, in the non-judgmental space, just noting what's here. Tensions, textures, colors, smells, tastes, sounds, without trying to change, just being with what is. Connecting further to our inner wisdom, our inner knowing, connecting to ourselves in a way that is so important for us to not only be connected within ourselves, but to be connected to others and to feel a sense of belonging. And so with the next breath, I'm going to invite you to practice breathing a whole breath. What that means is we're going to breathe from the top of our head all the way down to our toes as we inhale. So breathing in, following it all the way through your lungs, into your belly, down your legs, into your toes. And exhale from your toes, back through your belly, your chest, and out your nose. Let's do another one of those. Breathing all the way in, letting your breath flow all the way to your toes and pausing for just a second. And then exhaling from your toes, through your legs and your chest, all the way out your palate and out your nose. And take a minute just to hold space for this reconnection you've just done with your whole body. Knowing that at any time, this connection exists and you can tap into it through mindfulness and meditation processes. You can tap into it during yoga or running, or even while you're sitting at your desk at work. And that tapping into this brings a sense of connection, lets us be aware of our inner wisdom, and helps us be more connected to our environment and to the people around us. And stay in this space as long as it seems important. And when you're ready, bring your attention back to the room.